Yeah, I'll have to behave.
Good morning and Happy New Year. What
Happy New Year.
a loud PA in here. Hope everyone had a good holiday season and welcome back. It's Wednesday, January 8th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Welcome to the monthly meeting of the Shrewsbury Council on Aging Board of Directors. The board adheres to the open meetings law, follows Robert's Rules of Order. The meetings are streamed by the Shrewsbury Media Connection. Our producer today, I'm not sure that's his title, Mark Serra, and they may also be found through the town website. I'm Alex Roman, chairperson of the board. Council on Aging staff in attendance are Renee D'Argento, Holly Lucht, and then board members. I'll let you introduce yourselves. Pamela?
Good morning, I'm Pamela Penna.
Rachel Kleiman-Wexler.
Ruth Scala.
Good morning, Larry Mayon.
And we also have a couple representatives from the Shrewsbury Senior Center, and my tablet went to sleep here. Is that today's agenda?
It's,
The minutes.
Yep.
So everyone should have received a copy of the 2020, the December meeting. Was there just one meeting? December minutes. Any edits, comments, motion to approve?
Motion to move as is.
second.
Motion and seconded. All in favor of approving?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have two representatives from the Friends, as I said. Maria, good morning.
Good morning and Happy New Year, everyone. We're excited to be here and really excited for the new year and continuing to move forward with making more progress of visibility of the Friends of the Senior Center. We are preparing and planning to have a table at the upcoming open house on January 21st from 3 to 5 to showcase our new brochure and give out information about the Friends, once again following along with our mission of getting more awareness and visibility for us. I think it's great. This open house is going to be amazing. I mean, Holly's done such a great job with the senior center, and getting people in there to see it and understand what we're all about is just a great opportunity for us. The membership that we have is steadily increasing. We have 46 new members. We've got a total of 241 members presently. Yesterday we had our meeting and we're delighted to have a new person come and join us. And she is not a Shrewsbury resident, thinking about moving into Shrewsbury, so she wanted to check out our center and see what was going on. And we obviously welcomed her. And she was very open and inclusive and gave us lots of good ideas and suggestions. She's a heavy-duty volunteer at the Worcester Senior Center, so it was nice to be able to contrast some of the things that they offered, and we're hoping, she said that she would join us again, and we're hoping she does move into the town, but it was a valuable experience for us to have someone outside of the town to, want to give and give us information and suggestions. So that was really great because she was a wealth of knowledge and experience. We are continuing our efforts of our fundraising for the sensory garden. We did get a donation yesterday of $500 from a business in the community. And moving forward, we're going to really put the big push on now. We're doing a bulk mailing, and we have 400 pieces of the wonderful color brochure that we have for the sensory garden that we're mailing out to past members and present members that are friends of the senior center. And we are doing an additional bulk mailing of businesses in town, and I'm hopeful that that will generate much more income so that we can make that thermometer go up in the center of town so that it's not looking so stagnant. We have other, we have updated our brochures to include the bulk mailing and D-shirt on it so that we can do more bulk mailings. With Holly's help, it's a daunting task, from what I understand, to accomplish these bulk mailings, but we'll get it done. And I'm just hopeful that it will generate more funds for us. We continue on with, our upcoming monthly programs. The next one is Monday, January 13th. We are having Bingo Blizzard bash. And we're hoping, the theme is going to be snowflakes and blizzard, and we're hoping that we don't have the real thing. So we'll just have to see what happens. But, specialty refreshments for wintry drinks and prizes. And the one thing that we have been negligent on, and we get questioned, and now it's come to the forefront, is people ask about our programs and if there's a charge, particularly for bingo, because bingo lovers are used to paying for cards or whatever. And although we offer and we give prizes and it's, a fun event and we generate, sometimes 70, 75 people. So it's one thing that they really enjoy. So we need to be more diligent about getting out there the word that it is free. So we have put it on our sign outside the senior center, but, in the newsletter and wherever we put our flyers, we have to make that more visible so that people understand, and it'll probably generate even more people, which is great. The last thing I have is my visibility priority that I've been talking about for the last several meetings, and I am going to, I just didn't have time over the holidays. I'm formulating a letter to send to the select board. My question for you as the COA board is, can I mention, or do I have your backing and support to, ask for this sign for visibility? Because, every day we get people saying, they don't know where we are. And I think, that's a community town thing, and I'm willing to take on the challenge of trying to get this accomplished, but it would be nice if I could say in my, correspondence with the select board that the COA is looking to have this signage as well.
Certainly, as a community member, you have the right to do whatever it is that you feel like. I have mentioned before that it is part of the dementia-friendly practice that we're working towards to do for the entire town. And I do agree with you that the signage for the town could be improved. So again, I look towards the board, but as a community member, I would certainly support you doing whatever that you feel is correct, knowing that we as the COA board as the COA department, we also are aware of those things and do have communication open with both the select board, Casey as the dementia-friendly leader, and the town managers. So they are aware, but beyond that, certainly I would always support anybody that wanted to do anything to, enhance the senior center and the happenings. So I'm gonna leave it to the board to chime in.
I support it. I think, we should support it as a board. I found it by mistake many years ago when I went to shop at that little food market they had here. Otherwise, I didn't really know where it was.
Right.
So it should be better signage. I think the Shrewsbury city is somewhat, can be improved with signage, not just here.
I think, my suggestion to them is a very easy, inexpensive one, and it could be done immediately. And I think that's what's needed. It's been dragging on, and, as I repeat myself, but, it's pretty sad when the sign for the EV is bigger than the senior center to direct people back to where we are, so. And the woman yesterday that was not from the area commented on it too. She said, "Oh, what a beautiful facility you have." And I said, "Yes, and every day it gets more beautiful." So, she said it's just, a little difficult navigating, especially where they blocked off one of the driveways now. It's not an easy task.
May I chime in? So I've been to different municipal office buildings, and a lot of them simply say town offices.
Right.
So why couldn't you, in that current sign, say
That's my
town
plan.
offices and senior center in rear?
Well, anyone, I would encourage you to reach out to the town manager's office.
Okay.
I guess I thought you had.
Well, I started formulating this letter, and then, with everything going on for me for the holidays, I
okay.
just kind of put it aside, and I didn't know what their meeting schedule was and everything too, so. But now this is a new year, and this is my cause.
Okay.
I just think that, the signage that they have now, where they moved one sign from the other driveway, we have two identical signs that say, town offices.
No,
It
they
would-
say municipal office
Municipal
building,
offices.
which is very long. It could say town offices on one line, senior center on another, rear. Very
Or
simple.
use one complete sign for the senior center, because they're literally side by side.
Yeah.
It's saying
Okay,
the same
well,
thing.
we don't need to get into the weeds of signage.
Thank you.
I'm sure the town's working on better signage, and
So.
it would be
Alex, should
timely.
there be a motion from the council members in support of the letter? Or no? That's what.
We
we're
could,
asking for.
if you run it by either Holly or myself before you send it, that'd be fine.
That's my plan.
All right?
Should I make a motion that the
I think
council
that would
members
be
are
in order.
supporting
Sure.
better signage for the senior center?
Second.
And motion made, properly seconded. Any other discussion on it?
No.
Shall we vote? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It does.
Unanimous. Okay.
Maria?
Thank you.
Question for you, please.
Yes.
With regards, I think it's great that you had someone from another town that's looking at Shrewsbury. And, I'm sorry?
No.
And I'm thinking, would it be possible to do a reach out to some of the prominent realtors in the town to have this type of information, maybe a pamphlet that they, because it certainly enhances what we do here in town, and for someone coming in,
I agree, and I have done that as a Realtor in town. When I have new people coming in, I reach out and I give them as much information about the town as I possibly can, so that they know how to navigate. Unfortunately, everything is online. I used to, back in the day, be able to put together a wonderful packet, and I would go to all the town departments, the school department, this, that, and the other thing, and get printed material to put in a nice little package to hand to the people that were newcomers to the town. And we used to have a social or welcome wagon or whatever that did the same thing. But because of the age of technology, everything is online. So when I approach the school department, people want to know what school to go to, what's on for Parks and Rec and entertainment. All they said to me was, direct them to the website, direct them to the town website, and there's nothing that I can give them. I said, well, do you have anything that gives, like the website information? So I have to do it on my own. There is nothing available. So I agree.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Moving on, town financials. I guess we're looking at the short financials
Yep.
PDF.
Yep, so I'm going to approach the short financials. I just think it's easier to follow along. You all have received the long financials as well as the link to the spreadsheet that is real-time that we've discussed prior. So we'll begin here, and I also have it on the screens, and those at home can see too. So the general fund. So the general fund is the account that the town votes on and approves at the beginning of each year. So I'm going to just I'm going to flip through to the orange sections. So you can see that here we talk about OPEX. OPEX is the acronym for operating. So at the beginning of the year, we're given line items with beginning amounts for each of the areas that we will be expending in. So to start with, we have utility telephone. We started at $2,000. We have $1,251.82. We have hospital and medical. That started off at $660. As a reminder, hospital and medical is when we send our drivers to their Mass DOT physicals. We are still at $660. We usually send those drivers in the spring. On the next page, so page 2, services not classified. So services not classified is anything that we don't think of that we might have to spend money on during the fiscal year. And this year, you can see that we started off at $4,000. It's at 0. And as a reminder, we used that $4,000 plus an additional $4,400 from the formula grant to acquire one of the COA vans. So now it is outright owned by the town. Print posted stationery, we start with $2,000. That is for our monthly newsletter mailings. We are still at $2,000. Probably in April or May, I'll replenish those funds through USPS. Office supplies, we started with $1,000. We're down to $10.49. car allowance and mileage. That is for any staff member that utilizes their own personal vehicle for work needs. We started at $1,000. We're at $455.85. Dues and membership, so that is our relationships between any outside partners, such as Elder Services of Worcester or Massachusetts Council on Aging, just to name a few. We started at $5,560. We are at $3,141.08. Trainings and conferences are just that, just for our staff. We started at $3,000. We are at $2,182.77. So the total operating budget that we started with was $19,220. We are at $9,532.51. Any questions on the general fund? Not seeing any, I'm going to keep going. So the next highlighted area, you can see it says aging and dementia furniture. So last year, I put in a request for $76,000 for a capital request to replace the carpet and the furniture at the senior center. So we have a remaining balance right now of $4,060.66. Moving along, the next highlighted area is the Elder Affairs Grant, otherwise known as the State Formula Grant. That is the grant that we receive annually, and I believe that for FY25, we received $129,685. I believe that's what we received this year. So these numbers are, I know they look a bit confusing. They look like we're in the negative, that we are not in the negative. And again, I refer the board to look at the links that I said on the spreadsheet. We should be expecting the second half of the formula grant within the next month or so. So moving along, and we're going to head down to the gift fund. So the gift fund is the account where we make the deposits when we receive any sort of donations from the community. Scrolling on to page number 5, you can see part of the gift fund does include the Senior Center Garden Fund. So as of the date that I pulled this report, which was last week, right now we have $9,433.04, and I believe Renee is going to update us on, or Maria already did, on the $500 that is not shown here, which puts us just under $10,000 for the Senior Center Garden Fund. Then if you keep scrolling.
Excuse me.
Yep.
I thought that the money they received wasn't shown in our financials.
Yes. So the Friends of the Shrewsbury Senior Center are raising money in coordination with the Council on Aging Department / Senior Center. So we're the ones that control all of the funding for the gift account. So the gift account does include the garden fund. It includes any money that is taken in on behalf of the Council on Aging Department.
Okay, but the 500 she referenced, they receive and hold until they disperse it?
Nope, so they handed it over to us.
Okay.
Yep, so the Friends of the Shrewsbury Senior Center are helping us raise the funds for the garden center. So they're not keeping the funds. They send it over to Renee, and then we make the deposits.
And I know it's kind of hard to think about one of the coldest days of the year. But do you have a plan in mind for what to spend that on for this fiscal year?
So for this fiscal year, we have no plans on spending any money at this point. It is something that we're going to relook at in the spring to see what funds we have by the springtime, if any more have come in, and then Renee will be tackling what goes in first. So I believe the last meeting we had, she spoke about irrigation that needs to go in and things like that. So more information for that to come.
Okay.
So moving on down to the rest of the total gift fund, so you can see now in it, so this is included with the Senior Center Garden Fund, so our total gift fund is $20,160.40. Then moving down to revolving fund. So revolving fund is the fund that we take in money from, specifically from the Housing Authority with our agreement that we have with their contract that, we assist the Housing Authority with the residents that live there with outreach and transportation opportunities, and then they send us quarterly checks. And so our total revolving fund is $7,829.71. And again, this account is specifically for the maintenance and repairs on the 2 white vans. So that is the short financials. As I mentioned, you all received the long financials that kind of shows the the gritty part in between, as well as the links. So if there are any questions regarding either the spreadsheets or the full financials?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Sure.
I want to tell you that, I'm there volunteering in the kitchen and such. There's several people that came to me and mentioned how happy they are with the new furniture,
Oh, good.
which is very nice to hear positive feedback. Usually people don't say anything, they only grumble, but it was really nice. Several people came to me in the last couple of weeks and mentioned how they're happy with the new furniture and that the people are making the place nicer for them.
Good. Very
So,
good. I love
thank
hearing
you.
that feedback. Thank
I
you.
think I was happy too.
Any other comments on the financials? Ruth, our expert?
No.
Okay. Moving on to directors' reports and outreach, Renee.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. So we have several programs going on in January and going into February, but before I get to that, let's talk about some of the benefits programs that that people can apply for. So for fuel assistance, people who would like to have assistance for their heating bills, whether it be oil, gas, or electric heating, for a single person, the income level is $49,196, and for a two-person household, it's $64,333. So, being that, energy costs are so high, please feel free to contact me to apply for those funds. And the deadline for that is April 30th to get your applications in for the heating season. Currently, we have, this is not year-to-date, this is fiscal year. For this heating season, we have 59 people who have come and filled out applications this fall into today currently. And we also have emergency fuel oil assistance for people who are actually waiting for their applications to be approved by SMOC, that's Southern Middlesex Opportunity Council, who does the verifications and disperses the funds to people who qualify. So these emergency deliveries, if somebody is waiting for that, for their approval, we can offer you 100 gallons of oil out of a town fund to get you over the, the emergency until your application gets approved. So people keep that in mind and don't panic if you wind up, running low on fuel oil. You do have to apply and be qualified to apply for fuel assistance, though, for that fund. Yeah.
Beyond the income requirement, are there any other requirements to apply for fuel assistance? Is there anything about savings?
No, assets do not count. Just whatever is dispersed from whatever fund you're getting. So interest on savings or your required minimum distributions if you have a retirement account, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Excuse me,
And-
Renee.
yeah.
What's the turnaround time usually especially on the fuel oil assistance?
Um,
From time when you apply to when you,
From SMOC, it can be months. So they're required to respond within 45 days. That doesn't always happen in the past because if they've been, low on staff and that sort of thing. So, but they also, this is 45 days from when they receive the application, and they're working in order from when they receive them. So, potentially if they, in the beginning of the season, get, 3,000 applications from the region, it can take longer. So the longer you wait, the longer it might be that you get approved. So try to get your applications in early. Yeah.
How many households are being serviced by that now?
In Shrewsbury? I don't recall the numbers. I think last year it was somewhere around 170,
Okay.
something like that.
And how many are still pending now with the It's bitter cold. Are there a lot of applicants that are still out?
So I wouldn't know that because I only see mostly the new applicants.
Okay.
Sometimes people who get the recertification form in the mail will fill it out themselves. Sometimes they come to me if they feel like they need assistance. So I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know any of the numbers until the end of the season when SMOC comes out with those numbers of how many was served in a particular town.
It's awfully cold out.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So I guess they wind up paying out of pocket themselves and then get reimbursed?
That's the case a lot of times, yes. So, and I'd like to note also, this year, people have been saying that the awards that they're getting is substantially less than what they've got in past years. And the reason for that is that, the federal government, through the ARPA funds, the American Rescue Plan, actually bolstered those fuel assistance funds, and now those ARPA funds are expended and have gone away. So they're not getting the extra funding now for that reason, and so they have gotten used to it over the 3 years of getting those extra funds. So take note of that. Unfortunately, for some people, now for everybody who's qualifies, they're getting less in funding. And now they have to deal with their budgets in that respect because they had that expectation. So
I guess they could reach out to their congressman and senator and ask for
extra
help.
funds.
Well, ask them to renew that funding.
Well,
Doesn't
yeah.
seem likely.
Yeah, it
as
doesn't,
I say
no.
that, but
No. Shrewsbury Youth and Family Services, who manages the funding, they're trying to figure out other avenues with the town. So we'll see. No
Renee?
promises.
That's a federally funded program?
No.
then,
The fuel assistance program is,
Okay.
yeah.
So my question is there a state-funded program in addition to that?
There isn't, no.
It's not.
No. Catholic Charities has a program that assists people who are above the income limit, but I've not had much success with connecting people to that program. So, I don't know. Yeah. Then there's also Share the Warmth for people who can get assistance with their electric utility bills from Selco. The deadline for that is March 1st. And if you qualify for fuel assistance, you can also get weatherization assistance as well as heating system repair. So those programs are really a great help. Some of the programs we have going right now, the Senior Center Food Pantry is a great success, and we keep building on that. And to date, we have just under 400 visits to the food pantry from 75 registered participants, households. But on a weekly basis, we typically have around 30 to 35 visitors. We are taking donations. We are looking to market that a little bit more now that we have a food pantry coordinator. Jen Andrade has started with us last week, and especially for produce, because that was definitely a very popular item and a big draw to the food pantry, that we had the fresh produce delivered every week. So our visitation now, with some of the donations we're getting, we're going to every other week, and that's constantly changing depending on what we have for items to offer people. So feel free to come to the senior center and sign up for the food pantry. There are no qualifications related to income. You just have to be a Shrewsbury senior, age 60 or over, to come and visit the pantry. For the sensory garden, again, we have donations just under $10,000, and we're going to be featuring that a little bit more at the open house that we're having at the senior center on January 21st, which will be really great. Hopefully we'll get more donations and more activity from that. We're also starting a cultural meals program. We've partnered with FISCO, and that would be the Friends of Indian Senior Citizen Organization. They're out of Burlington. And they've done this at other senior centers where cultural meals, well, vegetarian meals actually, Indian, Asian, and nature will be served. And this is going to be the the first and third Tuesday of the month. People can sign up for that through the Fisco website, or they can call, if you're not online, you can call the phone number that we'll have advertised to sign up. And there's a $3 donation for that, just as we do for the regular meal. So you can sign up for either meal. And
So can I ask a question? So this is not, so if somebody wants this meal specifically, they do not call the senior center, we do not forward them to the kitchen? This is a specific number that they have to call?
that's correct. So if they do call the senior center, the front desk should have the number to give them,
Okay.
just in case if they don't have it. Yeah.
So it would be done differently than it's done with the people reserving a spot with Terra Now?
Yeah, so people can sign up for either meal. So you would sign up for the regular meals as you usually do. And for the cultural meal, you would either go to the Fisco website a week in advance or call the phone number that's there. So they need a week because they're working with a caterer
And it is vegetarian?
specifically. I'm sorry?
It is vegetarian,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Good.
vegetarian.
I do not see that it says a week in advance on here.
It doesn't say that on here, and I should put that on there, yeah.
You can make those revisions and get
Yep.
that to me?
Yep. Okay, and then we have a fraud and scam program, January 28th. Kevin Donahoe is the outreach person for the Worcester County DA's office, so that's our third in a series. It's happening January 28th, Tuesday, from 3 to 4. And lastly, January 10th, we're going to have a 4-session series on Fridays from 9 to 10 in the morning on technology. So people who, need help with their phones or their tablets or their laptop, they could come to the senior center between 9 and 10 and get some assistance, as well as have a class on that for 4 weeks in a row.
Who's putting that on?
That would be Elder Services of Worcester area. Yep. So ESWA, they have done these classes at other senior centers. They also have availability if you called Elder Services to, if you had a question on something on your device, they can give personalized assistance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a fantastic opportunity. I wonder about timing and where it's Elder Care of Worcester, and they have so many resources. I wonder about like an afternoon option and a morning option. If we could check on that. So many seniors have a hard time getting up and going in the morning, that 9 o'clock can be so early.
Yeah. I mean, it's always difficult to decide what's better, morning or afternoon. I mean, so many seniors do come to the senior center in the morning, and by the afternoon, it dies down quite a bit.
Oh, that's
Yeah. After 3 o'clock, it's kind of a ghost town. After the lunch, people are there for a little bit, and then we're trying to juggle room space after lunch when there's a lot of
Right.
programs going on.
right.
So, it becomes a little bit difficult, but.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. So if anybody wants any information on programs and benefits, if you'd like a benefits review, feel free to call me and we can go over things to see what you qualify for.
Okay, thanks, Renee.
Thank you.
Good report. And next is Transportation, Holly.
Yep. So we'll begin with transportation outreach and open office. So Cynthia Willis, transportation coordinator, that's been with the town now for nearly 28 years. Since we changed over to a different transportation model last year, her outreach needs have increased, where, as I've mentioned before, she heads over to the Housing Authority. She's put on some lunches, some movies. She works closely with some of the residents to figure out where the special trips, what is important to them, where they should go. So with that, and with our growing staff, We have moved Cynthia's office to where the veterans agent was located, which is in the same restroom hallway. So she's readily available to the public when they come into the senior center if they want to talk about transportation. She is definitely the person that knows the most about it. So I encourage everybody when they're at the senior center, if they have any transportation needs whatsoever, to look up Cynthia and go visit her in her new office space. In addition to that, as I said, special trip requests. So we're trying to incorporate trips and policy that fit the needs for everybody. We want everybody to be able to go on the special trips. So I know that there's continuous questions about why we charged the $10 for a special trip. And that is simply to protect us in the work that we do when we put together the special trips from cancellations. So when we request the $10 for people for the special trips, they do get that $10 back when they show up for the trip. For any reason, unless it's our error, that $10 is kept by the department and that goes into the revolving fund, so it helps us maintain our vehicles. So that is the reason for that. One of the things that we are incorporating for this winter is to provide additional grocery shopping experiences, knowing that the weather can be, as Maria said before, unpredictable. So we want to make sure that beyond what somebody may request from the WRTA vehicles to go grocery shopping, we're adding a few of those opportunities also each month for the winter months. So we are not charging $10 for those particular special trips. We know that it's hard for people who need to go get groceries to be able to come in, give the $10, and then book for grocery trips. However, if we see an increase in cancellations, we will then request the $10 for those trips also. So that,
How,
yes.
to utilize the shopping trips, do they have to come to the senior center to get the bus to go?
So if they're utilizing special trips with our white vans, they need to come into the senior center and pay the $10. If they are booking trips through the WRTA, and you can book any trip to the WRTA, it doesn't have to be grocery shopping or medical or work. It can be anything, but we see most people doing the more leisure activities through our white vans as they come up. And for those, it does not cost the rider anything to go through WRTA, but you do have to call either 48 hours in advance, or unless you are ADA, unless you have an ADA application, you can call either the day of or even 24 hours.
Now, is that a pickup at the home location?
Yes, so it's curb.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
So that is my report for transportation. Moving on, I'm going to,
You're covering for Casey?
covering for Casey.
Okay.
So
Volunteers.
so volunteer needs. So Tuesday dinners, we actually just had a few more people volunteer to assist us in Tuesday dinners. So last night it went off fantastic, and I did overhear a couple of the volunteers in the background. I heard them say, "What's better than this for an hour? We get to get out and they get to eat and talk with people." So that's really good. Last night we had 18 people show up for the Tuesday dinners. The max capacity is 25. That is again catered by Sirloin in Northborough, so it is a special Tuesday night dinner. That does require a week's advance notice to book. And that is also $5, and you do not get that $5 back. The other thing that we are looking for is, so in addition to Renee coming up and working with Elder Services for the cultural meals, we are looking to expand our multicultural opportunities that we offer at the senior center. So we are currently looking for a Bollywood instructor to come in, as well as any other instructor that they feel as though could provide additional experiences outside of what we normally do on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. So if anybody is interested whatsoever, they can come into the senior center, they can fill out a volunteer application, and then they'll receive a call from Casey, kind of trying to figure out where where our space, where those volunteers can kind of fit into our very busy schedule. But that is one of the things that we're moving forward into, especially for the new fiscal year. And the next
Excuse
one,
me,
yes.
Pamela, did you have a question?
No, thank you.
So, okay, I'm going to confess my ignorance. What is a Bollywood instructor? I think Bollywood like movies, and maybe I'm speaking for
Sure.
one or two others.
Well, so in my experience, and please, I don't need anybody calling me, telling me I'm wrong, is that we've had a couple of Bollywood programs, and they sometimes will come in like the belly dancer costumes, and it adds a little bit of flair to a regular fitness exercise with a little bit more dance, a little bit louder, colorful music, and it's really a fun group fitness exercise, social, like it's a lot of fun.
I
Okay.
guess it would be like a Zumba, except for more colorful.
More colorful, yeah, something
Belly
like that.
dancing, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
I probably won't sign up for that one. All right, moving along.
Yep. So dementia-friendly initiative. So Casey's been working really hard since July to get us all the wonderful things that we have now. And she'll be working in the next few months to offer more informational sessions to businesses in town, as well as town staff and the community. So look out for either emails that you might get or postings. She might reach out to you specifically, because I know that the board is on her agenda to make sure that we all have that dementia informational sessions under our belt. We are also planning to incorporate opportunities at the open house. So if you've ever attended one of Casey's informational sessions, some of it is like being yourself living with dementia, as close as to it as we can get. So she might have you put on specific glasses or headphones, or she might ask you to put on like a different kind of shoe, just so you can kind of see and feel and sense some of the things that people with aging and dementia may face. So people can have a better understanding of why we're doing what we're doing here at the senior center. So that's what I have for that portion.
All right, moving on to programs, and that would be Holly.
Yeah. So the January open house, so that is on Tuesday, January 21st from 3 to 5. So just as Maria mentioned before, the Friends will be there. We have many other departments that will be joining us to kind of talk about what other town departments have to offer and where that fits in with the needs of the community and the seniors within the community. We're going to have a lot of giveaways. We've bought a lot of fun things for people to be able to walk around and take away with them. They'll be able to meet a lot of our instructors that come into the senior center on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, talk with them, ask them questions about the program, kind of alleviate all of those fears of why somebody has an excuse why they don't come. They can ask those simple questions, and we'll have some appetizers. I was hoping we were going to be able to use Napoli's, but they're closed for January, so we're going to figure out something else. But don't worry, we'll have plenty of food. Transportation is also available, so you can call the WRTA transportation phone number, and you can get to the open house and back home from the open house should you need that ride. It is going to be free, and I really hope that people are able to come, visit, and then take away a lot of the information that we work so hard on a daily basis to make sure that we provide, and I want them to have fun. So I invite all of the board and everybody listening to join us that day. And so we're in the middle of fiscal year 25. It ends on, the new fiscal year begins on July 1. And I mentioned this briefly last month, and I did reiterate it to the Friends, that one of the things that we're going to be kind of directing our attention to is additional outreach. And yes, we'll still have the social programs, but we want to do something in larger capacity. So we want to do something like the open house, We have Renee's health fair coming in April. So we want to be able to offer those information programs where people can actually walk away and have something to think about when they walk away versus, if we do a small luncheon or something like that. And I'm not saying that we're not going to have those anymore, but my focus is going to be more on the resources that we have and making sure that people have them when they need them. So they might not need them right now, but at least they'll know about them. So I just wanted to talk really quick about the two FY26 fiscal year goals that we have set for the department. And when the department sets goals, then the staff is also asked to create their own personal goals with what their essential functions do and how it fits under the departmental goals. So one of the fiscal year 26 goals that we have is to offer multicultural opportunities. So that would include something in all of the 4 categories that we offer: transportation, outreach, programming, and nutrition. So you can see that we're already kind of putting a little bit of a dent into it, but this will increase as FY26 approaches. So that is the first departmental goal. The second departmental goal is we are going to increase our communication and the way we share our resources. So one of the things that we picked up very quickly, even though we have not discussed it in detail yet, from the communication survey for the strategic plan that we just recently did, was what I saw was that a lot of people are like, we want to know more. We want to be able to talk with you. We want to be able to talk with your staff. We have a hard time navigating the website. How can you make this easier for us? So what we're going to start doing is being available on a monthly basis for a Q&A, myself and the whole staff. And it will sit there, will be in a room, over at the senior center, and people can come and ask us any of the questions that they might have for any one of us, and again, be more present. And that also includes having myself and the staff and the department incorporate instructional videos or informational videos. So last year, or actually 2 years ago, Cynthia Willis, transportation coordinator, did a marvelous video about transportation. She put it up there. She gave the phone numbers. She said, this is how you do it. If you need to apply for ADA, this is how you do it. So what I'll be asking of myself, the department, and the rest of the staff is think about those things where, we get to hear Renee talk about all of the things she does all month long, but it'd be really nice to be able to say, okay, you know what, if you're going to sign up for our SNAP benefit, this is what you need to do. Period, the end. That was just about SNAP. Then we make another video about fuel applications or nutrition with the new meals and the Tuesday meals. So we want to make sure that everything is out there and it's with our faces on it, not just in a piece of paper that we hand people. So we want to make it more personal. So those are our 2 FY26 goals that we have that'll end up, I'm sure, polishing up before FY26 begins. But I wanted to let the board know that that is kind of the direction I'm going in. And are there any questions regarding those 2 goals?
Holly, that monthly Q&A session, could that be streamed?
Yes, so what we plan, so I don't know the answer to that. Yes, I'm hoping that we can do some. That obviously involves Mark Sarah and Media Connection to get involved. If nothing else, I really want people to attend to those meetings, not just watch those meetings. So I'm sure that we'll come up with a way. This is the very beginning point of this.
I really like those 2 things. The one thing about the cultural opportunities, do we have any information about the distribution of what do we have in the seniors? What kind of cultures, different cultures?
The demographics.
What's the demographic?
Yeah, so we can find all of that information. I'm sure I have it in my office from the town clerk's office. So figuring out, so I think the main goal for this goal would be to find the appropriate contacts, right? So it's going to be a lot of calling and walking into places and saying, like, hi, I'm Holly, I'm from, how can we work together? So I think it's going to be a lot of that kind of work. So I'm really trying to get FY25 away from us so we can get into FY26 with a new, fresh approach. So in an understanding within the community that we are going to step back a little bit from the smaller programs that we were doing, so we can make this happen.
And could you remind everyone of your 4 strategic goals that you always cite?
So they're not strategic goals, but they are categories of the senior center, and that is the transportation, nutrition, outreach, and programs. And Raquel, just to mention again, so I can find out certainly from the town clerk's office and share those demographics with the board, so we all know, where the focus should be streamed, for sure.
Thank you.
Kelly, what were the goals for fiscal '25? I came in late, so. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, my head is
Okay,
in
let's
FY
move
'26,
forward.
even though we're in FY '25.
Because we still have 6 months to
Yes.
go.
I am having a complete brain freeze right now. But I can certainly send you that in an up. Thank
Sorry.
you for
Okay.
putting me on the spot, but I'll get back to you on that one.
I can't think
I
of it
literally
either.
cannot think right in my head.
And just to comment about what you shared, Holly, I think the video demonstrations are going to be extraordinary. That is going to be such a benefit to be able to see faces, see explanations, have the clarity, play it over and over again, and finding it is usually a simple icon. So I think that's a really great idea.
We have noticed that with our email blasts specifically, because they go out to roughly 3,000 people, that is where we see the increase coming, especially in the Hoop Board app that we now have. So as soon as we send something, people always go right to the Hoop Board app to see if it's there. So I do my very best to keep that updated on a daily basis, but I do agree that when we start making those videos and we can send them to people's emails, we can even text people these things because we have everybody's phone numbers because of my senior center. So it will all depend on what the preferences is of everyone on how they receive that information. But I am very much looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And so now we're down to food pantry and donations. So I won't repeat all the things that Renee already mentioned about the food pantry, except for the fact that with the 70 some odd registrations that we have, you can imagine that the small food pantry it diminishes quickly. And we are still looking for partners and collaboration with the community to get us more food, more donated food into the food pantry. So yesterday, I did on our Facebook page share a link to our Amazon wish list, so people can purchase things right from the wish list, right from Amazon, pay for it, and it comes right directly to us. We know who donated it. And then like I said, it comes to the senior center. I give it over to Renee. Renee stocks the food pantry. We're just looking we're in need of more. So anything will help. We are in the process of creating a fun opportunity for February where people can compete against each other for how many things that they bring in. We'll tally up how many things people bring in. It'll kind of be like a little friendly competition. And then for the month of February, at the very end, the winner of that will get special recognition in our March newsletter, as well as, I'll share that with the town manager's office and the select board, just to let people know, like, what's going on. And I am hoping to work with the recreation department so we can give them like a little recreation gift certificate that they could either use for an adult program or a student program. So we're trying to cover all of the unique possibilities that we can get more food, but we really do need everybody's help for this. And that is all I have to report.
Okay, and are we at old business now? I presume we are, yes.
We are.
New and old. So Holly touched on the strategic plan. With the new year, we're going to be working on that over the next 6 months and probably into the next fiscal year. But just to define our strategic goals, which really is a main concern of a board, especially a nonprofit board, I guess, or a public entity as us. And secondly, under new and old business, it slipped my mind.
So
Yes.
I'm ready to answer Ruth's question. Okay, so for FY '25 goal, and I apologize for forgetting. So one of the goals was to create an intergenerational program.
Right.
So in which we have done with the Interage Alliance and then with Yahoo. So that has proven effective. And then for goal number 2 for department, it is, increase user engagement with the Hoop Board. And so when I looked this morning, I believe we have 127 users for the app. And it also shows us the engagement of the Hoop Board kiosk itself over at the senior center, as well as the app. And I think our biggest day for the engagement in the month of December was 179 in one day. And that usually falls on the emails. When we send out the emails, we started to look to see when everybody's looking at it, and it's every time we send out an email.
'Cause the email has the programs and information and everything. which
Right.
is like, oh, now I want more information on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, and then, as far as the kiosk engagement, now that we've moved it to a different location in the center, it is definitely being seen more. I believe one of the highest ones in December was 111, so that's really good for a one-day type of usage for the Hoop Board. So when people come into the senior center, they can look at the written program board, that really doesn't change or get updated, because it's not real-time, it is just a blank kind of schedule. Or they can look at the Hoop Board, which is real-time, and get the information that way. And they can set notifications to, like, if you only wanted notifications on when classes are canceled, you can set the app exactly for that purpose. So those are the 2 FY '25 fiscal goals.
Thank you.
One other point for, I guess, next board meeting, we try to report out, or the staff does, quarterly operational data, just number of visits, like she just mentioned, how many touches to the Hoot Board, or data from my senior center. And, some of you have seen the graphs that we receive from the staff, and we'll be getting that this month to
Yep.
just see these trends. Individual numbers are hard to decide how meaningful they are unless you see a trend. So
Yep.
that's,
Correct.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I will get you those in February.
Anything else? If not, motion to adjourn,
Second?
and all in favor? Aye.
Aye,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
And
you,
again,
everybody.
Happy New Year.
thank you.
Happy New Year.
Sue?